So, my dear friends, learning to be great sage is like learning to be a great musician. If you want to be a great footballer like Diego Maradona, then you have got to practice with the ball for hours and hours. We all know of Diego Maradona. Well, there are so many great footballers. How many hours they practice? The way of becoming a great footballer, soccer player, we know. Similarly, the way of becoming a great sage. My dear friends, here we are dealing with that. Like there is a great soccer player, like there is a great musician, like there is a great dancer, there is a great sage. Confucius is a great sage. He is giving us the technology of becoming a sage. Let me repeat his own words. Those who wish to rectify their minds would first make their wills sincere. Yes, in this lifetime I want to become a sage. That is my decision. I am very, very sincere. That is what I want to achieve. Somebody else has become like Lao Tzu. He has become like Lao Tzu. Somebody else became Confucius. Somebody else became Buddha. Now it is my turn to become Buddha. I want to become that. So that is called as making your will sincere. Whatever you want to achieve, you must be very, very clear, pretty much clear in your mind. You must be clear what you want to achieve. Making clear to yourself what you want to achieve in this lifetime or in any lifetime is called as making your will sincere. I have read so much of Chinese philosophy. I have read so much of Chinese sages. All that can be considered in one statement, which is put as sincerity breeds seriousness and seriousness breeds enlightenment. My dear friends, this is what I have learned from all the Chinese sages. Let me repeat again. Sincerity breeds seriousness and seriousness breeds enlightenment. In any field, be it the field of soccer, or be it the field of music, or be it the field of spirituality. We have to be sincere in what we are attempting to. In my life, I attempted sagehood. I was sincere in my efforts. I want to become like Lao Tzu. I want to become like Buddha. I want to become like Jesus Christ. That was my sincerity, and I was deadly serious. I started practicing meditation and more meditation and more meditation. And finally, I became enlightened way back in the year 1979. Because my will was sincere. I wanted to rectify my mind. I wanted to cultivate personal life. I was deadly sincere and I was deadly serious, and of course I reached enlightenment. This is the sum, total essence from China. Sincerity breeds seriousness and seriousness breeds enlightenment. Those who wish to rectify their minds would first make their will sincere. Thus spake the great sage Confucius. And how are we going to make our will sincere? Which is the way to make our wills sincere? How can we go from insincerity to sincerity? What makes you insincere? And what makes you sincere? How do you travel in life from insincerity to being sincere? And again Confucius gives us the answer. He says, those who wish it to make their will sincere would first extend their knowledge. Knowledge is the key factor which stands in between insincerity and sincerity. Like the way of the world is to go for money, and the way of the sages is to go for knowledge. Worldly people think that with more money they'll be better off. And the sages know that with more knowledge they are better off. So, one's sincerity depends upon one's knowledge. If you want to make your will sincere, you must extend your knowledge. The knowledge of a fool, the knowledge of an idiot, knowledge of an evil person is limited. His knowledge is limited to the body. His knowledge is limited to his own village. His knowledge is limited to his own small hole. Now this knowledge has to be extended. Extension of our knowledge is the goal. Knowledge is everything. Knowledge delimits you. Knowledge empowers you. Acquisition of knowledge is the purpose of life. The more knowledge you acquire, the more your will becomes sincere. The more your will becomes sincere, the more the mind is rectified. The more your mind is rectified, the more your personal life is cultivated, my dear friends. How is knowledge extended? Another point, another question. You must investigate into things. That is the final answer given by Confucius. Investigate things. The scientists investigate into things of the matter, and the sages investigate into the things of the soul. There are two things, my dear friends: matter and soul, body and soul. The kingdom of the world and the kingdom of God. Jesus Christ investigated into matters of the soul. Gautama Buddha investigated into the matters of the soul. Einstein investigated into the matters of the matter, atoms and molecules, electrons and positrons. Einstein became a sage and Gautama Buddha became a sage. Whoever investigated into whatever, they gathered knowledge. And when they gathered knowledge, my dear friends, their wills became sincere, their minds became rectified, and their personal life was cultivated. Socrates investigated into things. He questioned each and every person, what is dharma, what is adharma, what is truth, what is untruth. He stood in the crossroads of the city called as Athens at the same time as Confucius did, and he was questioning each and every person. He investigated into personal affairs of people. He investigated into the personal wisdom of people. He found out that everybody was insincere, talking out of their own hats. They speak one thing, they mean something else. They do something else. They are totally insincere. Superficially they speak something. Internally they are something else. They are insincere. Because they never extended their knowledge. They never investigated into things. My dear friends, let us hear again the great words of Confucius. When things are investigated, knowledge is extended. When knowledge is extended, the will becomes sincere. When the will is sincere, the mind is rectified. When the mind is rectified, the personal life is cultivated. When the personal life is cultivated, the family will be regulated. When the family is regulated, the state will be in order, and when the state is in order, there will be peace throughout the world. What great manna from this great sage from China. The goal is to establish peace throughout the world. Everybody should be happy. Everybody should be loving. Everybody should have clear character. They should know what they are. Everybody should be sincere. They should not speak one thing and mean something else. Whatever they mean, whatever they want to mean, that's what they should express in clear terms. That is called a sincerity. Chinese philosophy, Chinese sages, the totality of the Chinese message, my dear friends, is sincerity breeds seriousness, and seriousness breeds enlightenment. Let me repeat again and again and again and again and again. Sincerity breeds seriousness, and seriousness breeds enlightenment. Pandit Ravi Shankar he was very sincere in that he wanted to become a great musician. Therefore, he was seriously at it. Therefore, he got enlightenment in music. Gautama Buddha was sincere in finding out the reason for dukkha, the reason for suffering. Then he started his practices. He was so very serious, deadly serious to find out the truth, and he did become enlightened. All hinged upon his sincerity. His will was sincere. He wanted to find out what was the truth. Are we as sincere as himself in finding out what we want to find out? Are we as sincere as Gautama Buddha in living the way that we want to live? Are we as sincere as Pandit Ravi Shankar to become as great in what we want to become? Shakespeare produced such great literature. He was very sincere. Are we as sincere? If we are as sincere, we will be as great as Shakespeare. Definitely so. Very few people are sincere in this world, and those few people who are sincere have become great. And all those people who are insincere, they languish in their ordinariness. They never achieved greatness. And my dear friends, this is called the great learning in China. Otherwise, learning to be great. By investigation into things, you know what is meant? What is meant is investigation into the matters of the self and into the matters of the world. Great scientists have investigated the matters of the world, matters of the matter, and great sages have investigated the matters of the soul, of the self, of life, of human purpose. Scientists have made life easier, and scientists have made life more comfortable, and sages have made our lives more happy, more wise. Questions like, who am I? What is the purpose of life? What is truth? How to live happily? What are the causes of disease and misery, etc., ought to be the concern of every thinking man. As one investigates, one finds answers. My dear friends, the real mode of investigating into the nature of self or the nature of the world is not through any mental questioning. My dear friends, the real investigation is possible only through the process of meditation, making your mind calm and tranquil and regaining you the peaceful repose. Let me repeat again the original words of Confucius. Please listen to these words, the words of the great sage. Only after having been calm can one be tranquil. Only after having achieved tranquility can one have peaceful repose. Only after having peaceful repose can one begin to deliberate. What great words, what great words, and what great words. And the way to become calm, my dear friends, is meditation. The way to become tranquil, my dear friends, is meditation. The way to achieve a peaceful repose, a permanent peaceful repose, my dear friends, is through meditation. And my dear friends, the way to go into meditation, to make your mind calm and tranquil and peaceful, the way is breath. My dear friends, let us all become great sages in our own eyes. Thank you, Confucius. Thank you, Confucius. Thank you, Confucius.